Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Steve, Got It Pool. I'm here with Tom, my new helper. And basically on this pool here, um, we're measuring this Freeform pool for a vinyl liner replacement. So in order to do so, I need to measure this pool using the AB measuring technique. And I want to kind of talk my way through things as I'm doing that. And the very first thing I need to do is establish my AB points. So here I have a bucket that I'm using. And what I'll do is I will measure 2/3 the length of the pool in a straight line, never intersecting the pool. And I'll pick a number. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to pick a spot of 18 feet. And that'll be my B point. So my distance from A to B, I'm going to ask Tom to write that down on the paper, is A to B. Now, when you're measuring the freeforms, the next thing that you need to do is establish your breakpoints. And we call these breakpoints Y, W, X, and Z. So the very first one that I like to try to find is the shallow end break. Now, I will say that we drained this pool in order to measure it. And obviously draining your pool, you need to understand the things that can go wrong when draining a pool. Don't just drain your pool. You could have groundwater. We knew ahead of time that this pool was not going to have groundwater, so that's why we drained it. The pool was very green. We couldn't see anything. So right here, I take my pole. I find where that break line is. I take my chalk and I make a mark. Now, after I've made that mark, I want to kind of find the face of the wall. So then I find the face of the wall and I make a little plus sign on top of the coping there with my chalk. I know you can't see it, but basically just know that the objective is to transfer the break line to the top of the pool patio. You can put a piece of duct tape on top of the patio and use a magic marker to make your mark if you choose. I use sidewalk chalk. So now that I've established these 2 points, these are going to be my Y and W points. The next thing I want to do is I want to find the break points down in the hopper. So this is going to be W, so we're going to write W. And over on the other one, I'm going to actually write Y. We're out here measuring the freeform pool. The homeowner's kind enough to bring us some juice and coffee. So we always say thank you to customers when they do things like that for us. Okay, so now the next one I'm trying to find is the break point down in the hopper. And a good reference point when you're looking for these points is the old seam that's on the liner. And what I'm actually doing right now is I'm taking my vac pole and I'm just kind of drawing on the algae where that seam is. And I'm going to do so on the other side over here. And I'm able to determine that that's where the break line is. So it's really nice when those seams are actually there and you can see them. And what I do is I take my vac pole across the bottom and I can kind of feel for that crease, and I can confirm that that seam on the liner is in fact in that crease. I can follow my pole back up and I can make a line on the coping. Now this mark here that I'm making now is going to be my X point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over to this side now here. I'm going to take my vac pole, confirm that down in the bottom where I made my little inscription along where that seam is, I'm going to follow it all the way up to the patio, ironed it down with my vac pole, and I'm going to make a mark on the patio. Now just to confirm that you like those marks, what you do is you ask your helper to grab one end of the tape measure. You can use a 100-foot tape measure, you can use a string line, And you just ask him to hold the tape measure on that little plus mark that we made over there, which is going to be our Z point. And he'll hold it up on the patio, up way up high on the patio here, like overlap it, probably a good couple feet, whatever. And just hold the tape measure over the plus mark. I'll do the same. And I stand up. And now I'm looking down. And I want to see if my marks are lining up. And as I'm looking at it, it looks like my mark could actually come over a little bit. So I make that little adjustment. And now it looks much better. So we'll scratch out the first mark that we made. And we know that we're going to be measuring to this one here that is X. So now I like my breakpoints. So those are the first few steps. When you're measuring a pool for a vinyl liner replacement, the first things you want to do is establish your A point, establish your B point, and then you want to establish your breakpoints inside the pool. Once you've done so, you go around and you start laying out all your other points. Now, these points should be, in my opinion, 2 to 3 feet apart. And we're going to start with, I always start with the one with Y to the right, number 1. Next one's number 2. Now here on this, where the stair is, I want to make a mark where the stair plate is. And then I want to specify that on my drawing. I want to specify that in my measurements. I want to show that the front of the plastic stairs still has a radius and continues with the radius that sometimes you'll have a set of stairs that has a straight front in it. If it does, you want to point that out. But these stairs are rounded in the front, and I'll specify that in my drawing. So now I'm just kind of going around every 2 to 3 feet, making marks, numbering them as I go. And basically, once we get all our marks done, we'll go around and we'll start measuring. We'll measure all these points from A to 1, A to 2, A to 3. So our W point here became number 9. So we want to write that. So on our patio it says 9W. And here on where it has like a reverse radius, as we call it, I'm probably going to add a couple more points that are a little closer together in this spot. And the reason I do that is because these little radiuses sometimes are hard to pick up. You know, if you ever play connect the dots. And then again here we have kind of like a little a sharp little radius there. So what I want to do is I want to mark the transition where the reverse radius and that radius come together, which is on this particular pool, this coping clip right here. That becomes number 12. This one here becomes number 13. Now, as I'm going around and taking my measurements, it can be a bit of a boring process. I'll try to make it fun and entertaining playing my Steve Got It Pool bingo game. You know, we're still working on the logistics of it all, but I think it's a game that's coming together nicely, and it's a way to make things interactive for the viewers. So my X point here became 18, and it's very close to the transition of the reverse radius and the regular radius, but it's not quite there, but we still mark that transition point. And coming down to number 20, number 21. I'm guessing we're going to have roughly 30 points or so, maybe a little more. And what I like to do is I like to try to eye up the center of where I think the center is here. Typically it would be over a light. This light is a nicheless light that was kind of offset from center a little bit. So I'm going to readjust where I think it is. And that point becomes number 23, Michael Jordan. We make our center line mark. We have number 24, number 25, number 26, number 27, number 28. Okay, I caught something that I almost missed. So number 28, number 27, we're going to readjust because I have my break point here. So that happens. Usually I catch them. All right, so now we have number 27 over there. Number 28 becomes our Z point. Z28. Everybody knows what a Z28 is. Comment if you do. Lets me know that you're watching the videos. Lets me know that you're a fan of the channel. We're on 30. So here, I think what we'll do is add 2 points. So we'll end up with a total of 32 points. Or I was thinking 32, so I wrote down 32. 31, and this one's 32. Okay. Total of 32 points. Now, obviously, total of 33 points. We forgot why. Okay. At this stage, I go around and I check everything because obviously we know we just had some issues there. So 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, Michael Jordan, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Everything looks good. Everything's marked out properly. In the next stage of the game, before I start measuring anything, I have to make a drawing. And these drawings are very important. It shows reference. It shows orientation of your AB points. It shows orientations of your XY or your YWXYZs and all that important stuff. And then there's other measurements that we have to add to that aren't on our AB measuring sheet, but we have to add it. So those can be done in the drawing as well. So basically I'm going to just kind of start my drawing here. Bring it around. And the paper kind of clumped up on me there. Alright, so it's a weird shape there, I know. I'll show you what it looks like here after. You can all laugh. So we call this an 8-foot plastic step. Now we got to shape the bottom of the pool. We put our break points. Now, when we draw our lines for our hoppers here, this is, I don't know, let me get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, when you draw this line here on this pool, it's rounded. So I need to draw that rounded. I need to write rounded. Now here, same on the front of these stairs here. Same on the front of the stairs. I have to write rounded. Now here, on this part here, sometimes you'd see it rounded on this part here. So I need to draw a straight line from there to there. And I need to write straight line on my slip or on my print. I know it looks a little rounded right here, but when they draw it up and they draw a straight line, everything will look good there. All right. So we know that point 4 is here, point 3 is here. We know that our A point is here, our B point is here. Oh, see, that's why we check things, right? It's actually over here, people. That's right. All right, so we'll cross that out real good so they don't question that. And then we have to draw our side slope, our side slopes here. We have to draw this side slope here. We have to draw this side slope here. overall depth. I usually put a little box. Shallow depth. My pen's starting to die on me. Shallow depth. I put a little box. Okay, so that's what my drawing looks like. And I'll even where that AB point is, I'll add that in where it was 18 feet. And that's something that I'm gonna obviously double check. I always double check things. I like to measure once. I like to measure twice. And so let's not try to make things too much boring moving forward. We're about 15 minutes in. So I really, when I started here, I was telling to Tom, I really hope that I can get this done within an hour. Tom, how's your handwriting?
So-so.
So-so?
So-so.
Tom's handwriting is so-so. So we'll choose another time to test Tom's handwriting. So, yep. Thank you for that. Putting our tape measure on our A point. Now this is going to be one of those pools that I'm not going to want to drop the tape measure in the pool, so I'm probably just going to kind of hold it as I go. And so we'll go 8 to 1, folks. You know, and since if you might be new, I like to go around and I take all my measurements. I'm taking 33, so it's going to be 66 plus our cross diagonals. It's going to be a total of about 70 to 75 measurements that we're taking. So within those 75 measurements, if I hit a whole number, we call that bingo. So we're going to be looking out for whole numbers as we're going around. It kind of makes this part of it a little bit entertaining, and you can kind of interact. Round A is single points, B is double points, and cross diagonals are triple points. The very last measurement that we take is a total of 5 points. We're working on the logistics, but we'll see how it goes. So we have the first one, 4 foot 8.5. 4 foot 8.5. Obviously not a winner. No winner. So we're going around. We got our tape measure, folks. Super close. I mean, that's as close as you can get. 5 foot and 1/4 of an inch. It's super important to write the measurement that you have. There's no cheating in this game. We call it as it is. If it's within 1/4 of an inch and it's off, we have to call it off. So 7 foot 9 3/4 for number 3. 7 foot 9 3/4. On this point here, I write stair on my measurement sheet, so that way everybody knows that's the stair. Coming around. Tom, I'm going to have you check the tape measure on the pin there. Make sure that it is going around smoothly with me, not getting hung up. So now we're at 15, 7 1/4. 15 foot, 7 1/4. We will write down stair. Number 5. Number 5 is alive. We have 18.2. 18.2. 18 foot 2 inches. No winners. No bingos yet. We're just getting started, folks. 20 foot 2 3/4. 20 foot 2 3/4. Number 7. Number 7, folks. 21. 21. We'll call it again. 5 3/4. 21 foot 5 3/4. Moving along. Number 8. Number 8. We're going to call it 22 2 222. 22 foot 2 inches 222. This is number 9. Number 9, if you remember, was our W point. We write that down on our prints. Okay. Number 9. 22 3.5. 22 foot 3.5 inches, folks. We're on number 10. No bingos yet. 22 6.5. And if you're wondering what a whole number is, it is a whole number of 22 feet, 25 feet, 26 feet. It has to be an even amount of feet. Tom, am I getting bunched up right there? It looks like it is. So all I need Tom to do is just keep an eye on my pin today. Don't walk away from it. 23, 5.5. 23, 5.5. Okay, we're on number 12. 24, 9 inches. 24 foot, 9 inches. 24 foot, 9 inches. Number 13. Number 13, 26, 2.25. 26, 2.25. 26 foot, 2.25. Number 14. Number 14, 27, 3.5. 27, 3.5. 27 foot, 3.5. And as we're going, you can see how hard it is to actually hit a bingo, folks. It is not easy. Let me tell you, we've had ones where we don't have them at all. 27, 7.25. 27 foot, 7.25. Number 16. Number 16, 27, 4.5. 27 foot, 4.5. We're on number 17. We're on number 17, 27, 1.5. 27, 1.5, folks. 27 foot, 1.5. Okay, we are on number X, 18. X, 18. We're going to call it 27, 10.25. 27 foot, 10.25. We transfer the X to our number on our sheet there so that they know. Number 19, 28, 6. 28 foot, 6 inches. We are on number 20, folks. If you're just joining, Steve got a bingo. We have had no bingos thus far. We are on 29, 10.5. 29, 10.5. Number 21. Number 21 is 30 foot, 8.75. 30 foot, 8.75. It could be very easy to miss a bingo, folks, so you must stay tuned. Okay, so as we're going around, we're going to interrupt the program here. Forgot to make our plus on it. We got the one mark, but I forgot the plus mark. So number 22 is 30 foot 9. 30 foot 9. We are on number 23, which is our center line. We'll make that little mark, center line, that we created. Number 23, Michael Jordan. What do we have? Coming in close, but not enough. 29, 10.75. 29, 10.75. 29 foot, 10.75. 24, folks. Number 24. Number 24 is 28, 2.25. 28, 2.25. 28 foot, 2.25. We're on number 25. A to 25. This is A to 25. 25, 1.5. 25, 1.5. 25 foot, 1.5. Number 26. We're going to leave our tape on the ground here. We don't need to carry our tape around with us. We're backtracking back to number 26 on A to 26. Is 21, 9.25. No bingos, folks. No bingos. Round 1. 19, 5.25. 19 foot, 5. We're going to check that again. We're going to call it a half. 19, 5.5. Number 28, which is Z. Mark that down. And Z28, folks, is 17, 5.75. 17 foot, 5.75. Number 29. Number 29, 15 foot, 6. 15 foot, 6. Number 30 is 14, 2.25. 14 foot, 2.25. No bingos. 3 more numbers to go for round 1. We have 11 foot, 10.25. 11 foot, 10.25. Number 32, folks. 32. 9 foot, 4.75. 9 foot, 4.75. Number 33, our Y point. We write that down. So our last number for round 1, folks, 6 foot 10 and a half. No bingo. 6 foot 10 and a half. No bingos. This is on to round 2. This is going to be our B round, folks. We're going to move our tape measure over to our B point. This is round 2. Each bingo is now worth 2 points. You must specify the round that the bingo was called in. You must specify the point that I'm measuring to from the B point, and you must specify bingo. This is going to be the start of round 1. Start of round 2. I apologize. Tom's asking if I saw a critter. There's a critter in there. Okay. Now, did I give you my pen? Right there. Here we are. Round 2, folks. B to 1. We're starting off round 2. Steve got it pool. Bingo. Steve got it pool. Bingo. Here we go. B1. B1, folks. 17.7. 17 foot 7 inches. B to 2. B to 2. 20 foot 8 3/4. 20 foot 8 3/4. B3. Our stairs. So close, folks. So close. 24 foot, half of an inch. Disappointments. 24 foot, half of an inch. No bingo. On to number 4. On to number 4. For 30 foot, 3 3/4. 30 foot, 3 3/4. For number 4. B to 4. This is now B to 5. B to 5. 31 6 1/4. 31 6 1/4. This is number 6. Could it be? No. 31 11 1/2. No bingo. 31 foot 11 1/2. Number 7. Moving on. 31 8 1/4. 31 8 1/4. Number 8. Number 8. 30 foot 10 1/4. 30 foot 10 1/4. I'd like to take a minute to recognize our sponsor in this game, folks. This is Steve Got a Pool here with a helpful tip when you're measuring. Always take the measurement that's closer to the pool as opposed of the measurement that is furthest away from the pool. That will allow your liner to be made a little bit smaller, thus fitting just a little bit better. Steve's tip. Let's resume. We're back live. This is Steve Got It Pool. We're on point number 9. 29.4. 29 foot 4, folks. This is number 10. We are at B to 10. 28 4 1/4. 28 4 1/4. Folks, I may not actually call the bingo out. I may leave calling out the bingo to you. Don't allow me to call it out. If it happens, it's going to happen. Folks, 27 foot 11. 27 foot 11 inches. Number 12. Number 12, folks. 28 1 1/2. 28 foot 1 1/2 inches. Number 13, B to 13, is 28 foot 5. 28 foot 5. Number 14. Number 14. 28 foot. 28 foot even. Folks, number 15. 27 foot 2. Folks, something amazing might have just happened there if you missed it. Folks, 25 foot 7. 25 foot 7 inches. We are on number 17. We are on number 17 for 23 foot 10 and 3/4. 23 foot 10 and 3/4. We are on X number 18. The birds are chirping. 22 10 and 3/4. 22 foot 10 and 3/4. Number 19. Number 19. B to 19. 22 9 1/4. 22 foot 9 1/4. We're on number 20. B to 20. 22 foot 4. 22 foot 4. We are on number 21. Number 21. 21 1. 21 1 for number 21. Say that 3 times real fast. 21 foot 1. 21 foot 1. 21 foot 1. All right, 19 5 1/2. 19 5 1/2. We are coming up on number 23, Michael Jordan. And yes, folks, I have hit 23 on number 23 before. It can happen again. I feel like if it ever happened, it should be 23 points. 16 8 1/2. 16 8 1/2. Not quite there, folks. Not quite, folks. Not quite. We may or may not have had one already. 13 9 3/4. 13 9 3/4. 13 9 3/4. Okay. Okay, we're going to round up some of the tape measure, folks. We don't want any interferences with the tape measure on the host's foot. We are on number 25. Number 25 for round 2 of Steve Got It Pool Bingo. It's been an epic battle. Low scoring match. We're at 9 foot 10 3/4. 9 foot 10 3/4. Only a few left to go, folks, in round 2. 6 foot 6. 6 foot 6. Number 27 is, folks, 5 foot even. Folks, we have a bingo. Unofficial numbers coming in. We'll have to review the footage. Folks, this is good. We'll have to check the footage to see how many bingos we actually had. I believe we have had a total of 2. I'm just not sure which rounds they were in. We're on 28, folks. Z 28. Z 28. 4 foot 10 3/4. 4 foot 10 3/4. A little shy. Folks, 5 more to go in round 2. We're on number 29. 6 foot 1 1/4. 6 foot 1 1/4. Number 30. Number 30 is 7 foot 8. 7 foot 8. 3 more to go. Number 31. 10 foot 10. 10 10. 10 foot 10 inches. 32. 32 is 13 foot 4. Folks, last measurement coming up in round 2 right here. This is B to 33. B 33. B 33, folks, not going to do it. 15 3 1/4. Folks, now another exciting part of this measurement that we're going to add into the game is Steve Got It Pool here now, and this is round 3 now. So what we do now is we pick some cross diagonals, and typically we go Y to W, Y to X, Y to Z. Please don't ask why. After that, we go X to W, X to Z. We have all our cross diagonals except W to Z. Those are our cross diagonals that we will be measuring. We add one more at the very end, which is our bonus round, which is our center line of 23 Michael Jordan to point number 4. That measurement is worth 5 points in the game of Steve Got It Pool Bingo. Now here, I'm going to ask my helper, Tom, to hold one side of the tape measure on point Y. Point Y is over here, number 33. Just know that that's the front of the tape measure here. As we're measuring this way, you want to be on the tape measure. If we're going at an angle, you just always want to make sure that you're on that center of the dot there with the tape, okay? Sometimes we might be going on top of the patio this way. And you just always hold the tape there. Okay. So now, folks, Y to W. Y to W. These points are worth 3 points, folks. If we hit a whole number on this measurement, it's worth 3 points. You're right on the plus sign there, Tom? Sure. 17, 3.5. 17 foot, 3.5. Didn't quite get there. Stay there, Tom, for 2 more. We're going to go Y to X now. Just make sure that the tape's coming straight. It's not hooked, bending around your hand. Oh my goodness, this is epic, folks. Are you on that mark perfectly, Tom? Because this is going to be under criticism, folks. 21 foot even. 21 foot even. Folks, that's a bingo in round 3. That's worth 3 points. If you can list off all bingos in each round before any other viewer, I will know. Why? Make sure you're coming straight off to me there. You can close the little hook part on the tape if it bothers you. Yep. So now we're Y to 28, folks. This can't be happening, folks. This has never happened before. 13 foot even. Folks, 13 foot even for Y to Z. That's a total of 6 points in this round for you, folks. That's why you play this game. I'm going to ask you to go to X now, which is over here, Tom. It's probably your shortest route. Okay, we're measuring from X to Z. We're measuring X to Z. Tom is on X. I'm on Z. Tom is on X. I'm on Z. The measurement is 18, 1.25. 18 foot, 1.25 for X to Z. Tom, I'm going to ask you to stay there again. I'm going to come over here. We're going to go X to W. Folks, this has been an epic round. We've had a total of unofficial record numbers coming in. 4 bingos in this game, all in different rounds, all worth different points. If you're just tuning in, you're too late. Where are you? You're going to have to check the comments to see. You might still be alive, folks. Okay. Tom is on what point? X. I'm on W, 17 foot 1. Tom, I need you to go to X, which is across the way over there. Tom's headed over to X. I'm sorry, Tom, you're headed to Z. Z28, folks. Z to W. Don't worry, I always check my paperwork to make sure I'm writing the correct number down in the correct spot. That's why I say funky things sometimes. It helps me to remember. Folks, are we on? 25 foot and 3/4 of an inch. Not quite there. Okay, folks. Last round. Round 5. You're to point 23, Tom. Center, above the light. Michael Jordan. I'm on point 4. This measurement is worth 5 points, folks. 5 points. It's 5 points. If you're behind in this match, you can win the match. Make the match epic. I'm going to give you the measurement right now. Folks, we're almost there, folks, but we're 3/4 of an inch off at 35 foot 11. I have to ask Tom, are you right on the plus mark, Tom?
Right on the plus mark.
It's 35 foot 11 and a quarter. 35 foot 11 and a quarter. We just didn't get there, folks. This is the end of Steve Got a Pool Bingo. If you want to watch this video further, that's because you want to know how to measure your pool for a vinyl liner replacement with an A-B measuring technique all the way. And that's why you're going to be watching the rest of me now. What I do is I flip back to my drawing page. If you've been watching, you remember that. Here, I'm just trying to hold the tape measure out of the green stuff there and fumble my papers. But there are some measurements within my drawing that we need to take. So that was loud. We will use that hard tape one more time, my friend. So Tom, remember yesterday where I had you holding the tape measure off 4 feet?
Yes.
We're going to do that again.
Okay.
So you're going to take your tape measure, because typically 4 feet is the, yeah, I'll need that. Typically 4 feet is the side slope measurement, but it varies all the way from 4 feet to 8 feet. I've seen it all the way down to 1.5 feet even. But typically, so 4 feet off, Tom. Hold your tape measure straight out, keep it fully erected, and point towards the X point over there. Yep. Here we go. I need to extend my pole just a little further. What I'm doing is I'm coming down to find my point here. I'm squaring it up to Tom right there. And I could tell if I dropped the rock at the end of Tom's tape measure, it would land right down at the bottom of my pole. So the side slopes are 4 feet here for point Z. Tom, now I'm going to have you come over there to X and do the same exact thing, just point back to Z. So now Tom's going to point his tape measure out. I'm going down here to find my point, holding it straight up. I can tell that if he dropped the rock, it would fall at the bottom of my back pole right there. Tom, here on point 23, I need you to kind of point towards point 4 there, and we'll do the same thing. We'll see if this back slope. So I come to a position where I'm at a 90-degree angle, hold my back pole up. If he dropped the rock, it's going to drop at the bottom of my pole. So that's exactly what we need to do. So Tom, you can retract that tape measure for now. And I'm going to write those measurements down. And now literally all we have are 2 more measurements to take in this pool. They are the shallow end depth measurement and the overall depth measurement. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to do the overall depth measurement first and then the shallow end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 100-foot tape measure. And I'm going to have Tom stand on this side over here. Probably end up being somewhere around here, Tom, you'll end up be standing. I do need the vac pole, so let me just get that out of your way now. I'm going to come over here to where these ladder anchors are in the ground, or in the concrete here. Now, Tom, you're going to want to pull kind of tight and keep the white side up. So Tom, come over this way a bunch. Keep pulling tight. Maybe back the other way about a foot. All right. Now pull real tight. No sag in the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my vac pole. I come to the center, and I'm going to ask Tom is one more time if he's pulling tight, because we don't want any sags in the line. So I lean out and I find where the vac pole is touching that tape measure. And I have reference marks on my vac pole to determine that. All right, Tom, we're all set with that. You can let go and wind that up. That's okay. It happens. Tom, let me see the 25-foot tape measure. Have you hold it on the bottom of my vac pole. I'm getting a measurement of 8 foot 2.5, which is perfect because, here Tom, I'm done with the vac pole. Basically, we were measuring to the top of the patio. And from the top of the patio, that's not actually where the liner clips in. The liner actually clips in 2.5 inches lower. So if I subtract 2.5 inches from the measurement we had, This pool is a perfect 8 feet deep. So I'm going to write that down, 8 feet deep. The very last measurement that I need to take, and then we're going to wrap this video up. And thanks to everybody for watching. Greatly appreciated. Hope you learned something. You should have learned something. This video is more educational than any class I've ever taken in the Atlantic City area or anything. So hopefully, I'm getting 40 inches there. You know, while we're at it, sometimes the shallow end dips a little bit. In this case, it's not. The standard measurement for a shallow end is 40 inches. If you go any lower, if you go any lower than 41 inches, the lining manufacturer will make the liner just a little bit differently to fit a little bit differently. The liner manufacturers that we choose for our liners are Merlin Industries, the Vinyl Works, and Caden Manufacturing. If you need a liner, reach out to any one of these companies. They can send you a liner measure sheet, and then you can watch this video and hopefully it'll help you. My name is Steve Got It Pool. I hope this was entertaining. You got to see my helper Tom. We'll see you on the next one.